Well, good morning. What day is it? I think it's Monday morning. Got out of bed a little after 5 and left 10 quarter after 6, and it's about 5 of 7 now. I didn't film in camp this morning just because there didn't seem to be anything worth filming. So the other inhabitants may have just started to stir by the time I left. So I'm not always such an early morning riser, but well, there's miles to hike. So today will be about the same length as yesterday. I believe it's 12.9, but much less up and down. So hopefully, it'll be an easier day. There's not many bugs, but they're pestery. So we have to make our way first down off of Bemis, which is a process. We have to go over second Bemis and then first Bemis, and then finally make our way down to Bemis stream. And these things aren't marked. It's possible I'm on second Bemis now, but I don't think so. I haven't been walking that fast. But you can see a little bit up here, so I'll give you the tour. So that's looking south from a trail perspective, and not too far off from south, I think. And I'm guessing that's Bemis up there, Bemis Prime. Well, I shouldn't call it, because then there's first Bemis, which is probably through the trees to the right. And really nothing to be seen in those directions other than this nice open ledgy area. And then unfortunately we have the sun to deal with over here. So that's obviously east or a little bit north of east. And I'm guessing we're, no, I should say a little south of east. Anyway, eastish. There's some mountains over there in the haze that we're probably going towards, but won't get to today. So, after carrying water into camp last night, had about 8 quarts when we got in. Didn't really stint on using the water. We used a little bit for a bath and whatnot. But we've got about a quart to get us down to Bemis stream, which is 3.8 miles. And I wouldn't choose to do 3.8 miles on a quart, but it's mostly downhill. So I don't think we'll run into serious problems. Well, I think that's the report for this right now. We'll update you as we go along. And I guess I'll show you the map now. On leaving Bemis Mountain Lean-To this morning, we immediately began our descent from Bemis Mountain, crossing Second Peak, and then we'll cross First Peak, and then finally reach Bemis Stream. We'll climb up and cross Route 17, and then reach Moxy Pond, travel the length of Long Pond, reach Sabbath Day Pond, where we'll pass a lean-to. We'll then climb up onto a ridge and cross that, and then descend to Little Swift River Pond campsite. The profile map for today looks like this. Some down and then up this morning, and then not too much elevation change as we make our way to the campsite this afternoon. Well, it's just about 8:30, and we have reached the unnamed gravel road that's mentioned in the trail guide. And that means it's only 2/10 on to Bemis stream. So I guess, between here and there I can drink all the water I want. So sometimes these road crosses can be tricky, but this one's pretty straightforward. Oop, there go the poles. I came from up there and, well, did about a 180, and I'm headed down the road towards that white blaze down there. So this is Bemis stream, and a lovely stream it is too. So we scooped up some water and we're filtering some, and then we'll drink some, and then we'll filter some more. And then it's 8-9 of a mile uphill to Route 17. And so we'll check in again there. Before leaving Bemis stream, there's a couple of points I should make. One is it was 3.8 miles to here from Bemis mountain lean-to, and we managed to make that in about 2.5 hours. Not great, but not too bad. And also should note that there's to the south side of the stream a large area that looks to be both very suited for and very heavily used for camping. Bunch of tents there when I came through. People are sleeping in, I guess. So I didn't go specifically poke around amidst their campsite to see if there were trees for hammocks, but I'd be surprised if there weren't. All right, well, a little bit more filtering to do, and on we go. Welcome to Maine's Route 17. So there's a very nice view here. That's Lake Moose Look Laguntic there behind me, and a big road. The Bemis range there. I don't know if that's all old blue at the far end. Might be. And the nice people of Maine provide a bench. I've been sitting here for a while. I got up here at about 1:15, I believe, and it's about 10 o'clock now. So I'm rested, and it's time to move on. Nice view. So we've found the place where the trail re-enters the woods, just a short distance up the road. And we have a bit more climbing to do, 8/10 of a mile to the summit of Spruce Mountain. And who knows if we'll actually know when we get there. And another 8/10 to Moxy Pond, and we probably will know when we get there. So we came to Moxy Pond at about 11, and I kept hiking a little while just to see, and well, there's not even a trace of a camping area that I spotted in that area, and actually access to the water at all. There was no place there was a clear path down to get to the shore of the pond. So it's about 10 after 11 now. And so we're taking a little break, and we got a little ascent ahead of us in a bit to go up to something called Bates Ledges, and then we come back down and we hit the shore of Long Pond, I think the name was, and then we come to the Sabbath Day Pond Shelter, where we'll take a break again. I hope you noticed in the pictures and whatnot that the trail is nicer here than we've been having for the last couple days. So I'm not zooming, but I'm doing better than a mile an hour, that's for sure. I think I forgot to mention distances. It's about 2.1 miles back from Moxy to the shelter. Not too bad, and the Bates Ledge thing is about halfway. And I just checked the thermometer. The temperature is about 75, so maybe just a little bit warmer than it was yesterday, but not too bad. Of course, I'm not working as hard. we are at Sabbath Day Pond Shelter, which is a very nice shelter. It's unfortunate that it's not, right on the pond. I was kind of hoping I'd have a pond view when I was here, but I don't. I have a woods view. This pond is about 100 feet away. I got here at about quarter afternoon, and I plan on staying a while. So I've taken off my shoes and socks, and I've set up here in kind of lounge mode, and well, we're going to relax for a while, something we haven't done much of. So we've come, what was it, 8.3 miles so far today, and we've got 4.7 to go over, terrain that's not all that rough. So we're in pretty good shape, and we can afford to take the time. So we're gonna. So it's about 25 after 1, so we've overstayed our time a little bit, but what does it matter? 4.7 miles to Little Swift River campsite. And the terrain's not too bad. There will be one ascent about 500 feet. But first we have about half a mile to a fire road. Well, apparently this is the fire road. You wouldn't just bring any old piece of equipment down here. It's, yeah, it's pretty damn rough. Okay, well, we now have to do some climbing. And the next feature really is a power line. That'll be exciting. But then, speaking of exciting, you probably would have liked to have had a view of Sabbath Day Pond, wouldn't you? I forgot. Oh well. I'll punish myself by going up the hill. So it's about 20 after 2, and we have reached the power line. Don't say you don't get to see all the highlights along the Maine AT by watching my videos. I mean, a fire road and a power line all in one afternoon. It doesn't get much better than that. Okay, we now have 2.9 miles to go to the campsite. We have a little bit of elevation to gain over the next half mile or so, and then it's all downhill from there. Well, good evening, and welcome to the Little Swift River Pond campsite. Pretty sure I got those words in the right order. I got here about 4 o'clock, which was about half an hour earlier than I expected. That's the thing with these trails. I mean, at least in my case, the hiking speed depends a lot on the trail conditions, and you can't tell. Might be relatively smooth, and it might not. On any other hike, I wouldn't have considered the trail I walked over this afternoon to be relatively smooth, but I made better time than I thought I was going to, so I guess I'm getting used to it. So I kind of apologize that I never show you the process of setting up the camp, of finding the trees and whatnot. And that's two, because it's kind of a hectic thing and would be hard to film in two. Did I start with two and then one? I'm usually pretty exhausted and just want to set up a hammock so I can sit down. But as a consolation prize, I'll show you what we've got here. So the trail, I should say, is right over there. Perhaps you can make out a sign on the tree. South is left, north is right. And this is the main area. I don't know what this area is good for. it looks like it's set up to be used with a fire ring, but there's no fire ring. I don't know. But I came in a little further, and here there is a fire ring, and a large tent pad, and 2 trees the right distance apart. So I set up at the edge of this, although, you know, there's other places that if someone else came in, they could set up a tent, but, well, the edge worked out better for me anyway. So we are, of course, set up in porch mode. We've got laundry airing. I've changed into clean clothes after having taken a little sponge bath. Got a little bit of Tyvek on the ground where I've got some food spread out. Whatnot. Pack is over there. That'll soon get hung from the head end of the hammock suspension. Lots of stuff to dry out on the ridge line, and of course the gear hammock is stuffed to capacity, so leaving not much left in the pack. Camp kitchen area is over here, so we got water. I'll go down and I'll show you that, and you'll get to see an actual mountain pond. And that's the filtered water there. And we've got the 2Q ZQ tree shelf, and that's where we warmed up the water for our sponge bath. So, not much else to see here. The first way I knew that I was approaching here was there was a privy about 100 yards up, right next to the trail. I guess that's where they decided to put it. And, well, I'm sure they wanted it a fair distance from the pond. So we'll go take a look at the pond. So it's just a short distance away from where my hammock is set up. Then we have kind of an interesting area down here. We have a total of 3 canoes in various stages of decomposition or repair or whatnot. This one is obviously in the best shape. I'm guessing that duct tape or whatever it is on the bottom means it's got a leak in it. Underneath I did peek, and there are paddles and life preservers. One of the ways the canoes get beat up here, I'm sure, is that this is not the best canoe landing in the world. So I'm not going to touch it, but there were some northbounders who were here when I arrived, who were fooling around down here, and it sounded like they were playing with a canoe, but I didn't come down to check it out. So we got a real mess of a bog here, and I'm not going to wander into it, but here we have a real live Maine mountain pond. So, and one looks the same as the other, doesn't it? There's a sign on that tree over there that says that there's some kind of experiment going on, you know, run by the University of Maine, and I guess that perhaps explains the canoes. I'm not sure. So, but it's very pretty, although it's a little buggy here. So, over this way, we have some things to step on, and here's a little pipe. Maybe I need to get closer. Right there. I guess the spring is under that wooden cover, and it's feeding the pipe at a, you know, reasonable clip. And this is nice because presumably the spring water is cleaner than the pond water. It's easier to get to, and it's also colder. So I got water on a Sabbath day, and you know, it was kind of warm, not that palatable. So all to the good. In case that tour didn't make it obvious, I'm alone here at the moment. And, you know, I'm not real surprised The hikers, through hikers, all hikers really, like shelters, even if they don't intend to stay in them. They're places where, you can gather and where you can cook. There's, level surfaces and whatnot. So there are conveniences, even if you don't sleep in them. So I guess people found other places to go. I know a group of northbounders that I've been kind of playing leapfrog with, they were going to go into Rangeley, so they were going to make it another 4 point something, close to 5 miles, down to Route 4 and hitchhike into Rangeley. Of course, there's a bunch of them, so I don't know how long that'll take, but that's their problem. All right, we're going to start thinking about dinner, since we had a relatively easy day today and got into camp relatively early, relative like yesterday. We'll try, I think, one of our more complicated meals, which is also not a Babelfish 5 meal. Okay, so here's the meal. So we've got a 2.5 ounce package of premium light tuna in water that doesn't need refrigeration. We've got some ramen noodles prepackaged in a sandwich bag with the flavor packet removed. And we've got some dehydrated peas and mushrooms and a half a package, I guess they're a standard size, I don't know, of cheese sauce. Straight off the grocery store shelf. My wife knew, when I said that's what I needed, exactly what it was, and brought the package home, and so that's what I did. So actually, of course, since it needs half a package, I made 2 of the meals. I did this once before, well, I guess more than once, but the one I remember was the Hancock-Kerrigan loop, where I was at that lovely stealth campsite near a pond whose name I can't recall. But anyway, I didn't give myself much in the way of directions other than I need to start with 12 ounces of water, into which I'm going to put the dehydrated ingredients in the sauce mix and then let that come to a boil. Okay, so we put about 12 ounces of water in the pot. I don't have a way to measure that with real accuracy, but I've got an insulated 16-ounce capacity mug that's a new addition to my kitchen kit, which I may show you at some point. So it was, easy to roughly estimate 12 ounces from the 16-ounce capacity. So we've got this on, the alcohol stove is going, and I'll stir this in, and I'll check it occasionally, and perhaps stir it some more in case it needs it. I don't know why I didn't give myself better instructions on this. By the way, I didn't make up this recipe. It came from a website, and I'll put up a credit for them. Okay, so that has boiled and actually came very close to boiling over. Good thing I glanced over in time to catch it. And so I've taken it off the heat entirely, and now we're going to add the ramen noodles. But one thing I'm going to do before that is, I discovered when I did this before that it's very difficult to eat full-length ramen noodles with a spoon. So I'm going to take this package and try to break it up into little teeny bits and then dump it in the pot. Okay, so I dumped in the broken up ramen noodles, and I've got the pot in the koozie, and here I've got the pot lid and the koozie lid, and I'm going to fully encase that. And I'm not a big ramen guy, I didn't eat ramen in college. I'm going to let that go 10 minutes, say, and see what the consistency is then. So at 10 minutes, the noodles are definitely soft, and the peas and mushrooms seem to be rehydrated. So now I need to add the tuna fish, which, as I recall, is a little sloppy and tricky. So I'm certainly not going to be able to film myself doing that. So actually, as long as you're satisfied, excuse me, to get most of the package out of tuna and leave a little bit behind, it's not that messy at all. You just rip off the top and squeeze it out, and about 95-97% of it will come out. Okay, time to eat.
So that tuna noodle casserole was quite good. Even though I had to kind of guess at the directions, I apparently guessed right. So, very tasty and really pretty easy to make. Maybe I should do a video on that and add to the repertoire of backpacking foods out there. So today, somewhere between the power lines and here, we crossed the halfway point on our journey at 39.5 miles. We're 41 or so now. And we have another big day tomorrow, 12.8, I think. And we're going over Saddleback, over 4,000 feet, twice. So, and we're definitely above tree line. So, if the weather is decent, and it's supposed to be decent, we should get some pretty good views there. Might get a little rain tonight, the wife says. And, well, we'll read our Kindle some more and see you tomorrow. Good night.